everyone, and welcome to the Cop Council. How are we all? Hopefully, all of you are having a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And welcome to our pre-match show for Arsenal versus Liverpool. Of course, the Reds are back in action tomorrow night, 8:15, I believe it is. I have to think then myself at what time Liverpool do end up playing tomorrow, but it is 8:15. I believe it's on Sky Sports as well. I think that's the main reason why it has been changed to 8:15. It is a weird time, isn't it, for a game anyway? But we are joined by a very special guest I've just seen in the green room. It is Mr. Jamie Phillips. Hello, James. How are you, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. How are you?
Very good, thank you, mate. And of course, guys, please head over to Jamie's channel. We will leave all the links in the video description down below. If anyone else does want to join as well, as I was about to say, it is in the comment section down below. It's not in the description because I've just come from Lucas' stream and all that good stuff. Anyway, but let's say hi to a few of you guys. Anyway, Footy Tom, hello. Anyway, saying hi. Of course, Jamie was in here earlier saying smash the likes. Thank you very much, my friend. And Data's in as well saying good evening. Hello, everyone. Hopefully, I'm all having a fantastic day. But Jamie, are you looking forward to this game? Of course, Liverpool could be 1 point away from Manchester City after last night's results against Crystal Palace. But how are you feeling going into the Arsenal game?
Before yesterday's result, I was a bit worried. I'm a bit more relaxed because in a weird way I think we can afford to draw against Arsenal because we'd be in exactly the same difference if City won yesterday, a 3-point gap. So we was all expecting it to be a 3-point gap after the Arsenal result in a way. So I'm a bit more relaxed at it, and I think that City are proper wound up, ain't they? It's hilarious. But Arsenal are a good side, and I've been talking about Arsenal for a while now. I think Arsenal fans have just got to get behind Arteta now and realise he is actually doing a decent job over there. Got dangerous players, but I am confident. I mean, I did my preview earlier, and I was just looking at our team, going through our team, we could put in the first 11, and looking at our bench, and I'm thinking we're too strong at this moment in time. Our strength in depth in the attacking areas is ridiculous. I've said it for a while. It's the best in Europe. And I can stand by that. I will stand by that. It's the best attacking strength in Europe.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with you. And I looked at it earlier on myself, and it's like, especially, against Brighton, you're leaving the likes of Divock Origi on the bench. Well, not even on the bench, not even in the squad. Taki Minamino, we've seen over the last couple of weeks as well, Curtis Jones not getting a game. And you look at that and you go, well, that, full of quality and not being able to get on Liverpool's bench, which, over the last couple of years, I don't think we would have said that, to be awfully honest with you. And I look at Liverpool's team at the minute, and, especially, the top part of Liverpool's side at the present moment in time, it's a headache, not only for us, but for Jurgen as well, on who to pick, because, of course, you've got, Bobby coming back, you've got Jota. He looks, looking at a couple of training videos, he looks to be back in good sharpness. You've got Luis Diaz at the minute that's undroppable, Sadio Mane, Mo Salah. It's a very, very good headache for Jurgen Klopp, and one that I don't think he's ever had at the football club, to be fair.
No, not at all. I mean, the people you listed off in a minute ago, like your Curtis Jones and your Origis, they were our go-to bench players not too long ago. And now sometimes they can't even make the bench. That just shows the depth we have now got. I mean, Luis Diaz, I don't know what to say about this bloke. I mean, he's been here 7 weeks, and, he's now undroppable, which is nuts. He's undroppable. I said it in my preview earlier. Mo Salah and Luis Diaz start every week for me. And then three people are fighting out for the number 9 spot. I think that's how it is at the moment. I think Luis Diaz and Mo Salah start every single week because you just want to play your best team if possible now till the end of the season, because there's no time to rest anyone no more. We have to go full throttle at everything and just go to it till the end of the season. Then Salah and Diaz start every game, and then that number 9 position is up for grabs between Mane, Bobby, and Jota for me.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And guys, let us know in the chat as well. And for me as well, Jay, it's the fact that Jurgen might have to change systems to try and fit everyone in if he wants to. At a particular point, we've seen already this season. I remember at Wolves away when, of course, we were 0-0, and we changed it to a 4-2-3-1, and we went with Divock Origi that time. Now, like we've already said, we've got the likes of Bobby Firmino, Jota, Origi himself as well, and that for me, when you look at it, it's just a remarkable sight. And the fact, we're not only looking at, the front end as well. You look at, certain, particular players that, toward the back end of the field that hasn't really played. For example, Joe Gomez, I think Ibu Kanate as well. Like he's played a lot more minutes than Joe Gomez, of course, but you'd look at it, in previous seasons, he would have normally played a lot more football, and Joe Gomez as well. But we've been fortunate this year that we've had the likes of, Virgil back for a full season. And, to be fair to him as well, Joel Matip having a very, very successful season, not only, defending wise, but, fitness wise as well. I think the only time he's been missing so far this season is due to illness. So, in terms of Liverpool's match fitness this season as well, it's been kind of back to when we won the league in terms of not changing too many things as well. Do you think would you agree with that as well? Because of course the physio department was massively hit with COVID when we had to get rid of it all and then restructure it once again. But it's now the payoff is coming off. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, totally. I mean, talking about our physio department, I mean, they come under a lot of tension, didn't they? And a lot of scrutiny last season. Are they good enough? Why are our players always injured? But I think last season was just one of them things where, everyone in the team basically had COVID one time or another. And then, when you got COVID, your body's not as strong as it was. You got to start picking up injuries as well. And then obviously we know what happened to the defence. It got ripped apart. Yeah, if we go back to when we won the league, we never really had that many injuries. We had the odd injury here and there. Everyone has the odd injury through the season. You can't keep all players fit constantly. It's impossible. But you got to pick up nagging little injuries here and there. But we didn't have long-term injuries. They're 2 or 3 matches maximum, then they're back in the squad. And that seems what's been happening this season. I think the pre-season is what helped. I think a good pre-season. And they look like, especially with Joel Matip, they've come with some... I've heard that they changed his diet. They completely changed his diet, his training regime. I don't think he trains as hard as he used to, and things like that, and gave him a proper workout routine. And it seems to be helping him. And I'm hoping that's what they do with Thiago in the summer, because Thiago's never had a real good pre-season yet with Liverpool since he joined. In the summer, he was at the Euros when he shouldn't be. I mean, never used him. There was no point in being there. So he comes back late. The summer we bought him right in the middle of the pandemic, weren't it? He got COVID quite quickly on. He's never had a proper pre-season with Liverpool. And this summer, obviously, I don't think there's any international football this summer, is there? So he can have a proper pre-season. And I think they will look at Thiago, knowing how important he is, and try and put him on maybe some sort of program that Joel Matip's on at the moment, because Joel Matip, talk about this fella one sec. This is the most underrated centre-back in Europe. I think easily. No one talks about him. He is phenomenal. I saw a Arsenal-Liverpool combined 11 earlier today that had 5 Arsenal players in it. And one of them was the goalkeeper.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And Ben White was instead of Matip. And Liverpool only had one midfielder in it, Fabinho. And I was like, I don't know what they watched. But again, Matip, arguably better than Van Dijk all season. And he's so underrated, it's untrue. And, I think Klopp got asked that question about Matip today in his press conference about, people are now starting to realise how good Joel Matip is and things like that. And he said, no, he's been like this since we bought him. It's just now he's getting, his flowers and all that. He's been like that since we bought him. He's an amazing centre-half. And as a free transfer, he's probably Liverpool's best bit of business in the Klopp era, I would say.
Yeah, well, you look at it, Jurgen's had the faith with him, all his time at Liverpool. Back in 1819, when of course we first went on that amazing run, of course, and missing out by a point. Joel Matip was the number two partner for Virgil. After of course Joe Gomez. Well, originally it was Joel Matip, then Joe Gomez comes in, breaks his leg, wasn't it, and then. Joel Matip comes in and is irreplaceable. The season we won the league, Matip was still his partner. And then, of course, Matip had a season-long injury that kept him out. But all the time, it's always been Virgil Matip. And, for me, I would absolutely agree. I think he is the most underrated centre-back in the world at the minute. I think people, they look at it and go, before the start of the season, when they were like, oh, Harry Maguire and, Rafael Varane is better than Joel Matip. And I'm like, like, do you even watch football? Like, genuinely, but for me, Virgil's number one in the Premier League, especially. Then, of course, I think common sense, Rudiger and Ruben Diaz. But even then, I think Joel Matip could even be on that conversation with them two in particular. But I think then, of course, it is Joel Matip then, and that is so phenomenal. And that, but guys, let us know your thoughts anyway. I can see what you put in the chat as well, so we'll read that out in a minute. Anyway, well, first of all, let me go back up. Gary says, evening all. Hello, Gary. Hopefully you're on a fantastic day, my friend. Luca's in the chat as well. Data says, I honestly think Liverpool will have no problems beating Arsenal. For me, this is a win. Liverpool play better against top teams. They can struggle against mid-table and lower teams. Gary also says, one thinks it will be an open game. Luca says, how are you? Thanks for coming on. No problem, mate. Really appreciate it. No Arsenal player would get into the team, Liverpool team. Some would not even get on the bench. I don't think any of them would get on the bench.
Saka might.
Saka, Martinelli. Maybe.
I like them. I've got to say, I do like Saka and Martinelli. But when they were doing this combined 11, they had Saka in the front three. Instead of Luis Diaz, by the way.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I was like, look, Saka's a great player. But if he played for Liverpool right now, he'd be a squad player. He wouldn't be a first teamer.
Yeah.
And he's not getting in front of Saka. He's not getting in front of Suarez, Diaz and Salah.
Well, he wouldn't get ahead of Suarez anyway.
No, he wouldn't get
But no, I was just on Luca's channel, and he was saying, for a joint team, I'm like, just make it a full Liverpool team, because for me, if you go through it, goalkeepers, Alisson Becker, right back Trent, centre backs Matip, Virgil, left back Robbo, midfielders, Fabinho, Hendo. Do you put Saka in midfield? No, because he's not a midfielder; he's a winger. So then you put in Thiago, and then front three. None of them are better than Jota, Diaz, Salah, Mane, Firmino.
And this is no dig at Arsenal. They've got a good young team there. And in a few years' time, we'll be talking about maybe some of these players are some of the best in the league in their position. But right at this moment in time, Liverpool have some of the best players not in the league, but in the world in their position. There's no better right back for me in world football than Trent. There's no better right winger in the world than Salah. There's hardly a better DM than Fabinho. I mean, they had Thomas Partey in over Thiago, which I just almost threw my computer out the window.
Saying that, it's the same with Thiago, though. Thiago has gone very underrated again. Like,
Great
2 years ago, he was the best midfielder in the world.
Yeah,
along with De Bruyne.
Yeah.
And now people, and like he had, last year, look, it did take him a bit of time to get into the Liverpool way. But this season, every single time he's played, Liverpool have won. That Liverpool look a different, animal when Thiago plays. Yeah. And that's frightening for me. I can't think, for me, Liverpool have never had a player like that. Yes, we've had, Steven Gerrard and Xabi Alonso and phenomenal midfield players, but we've never had anyone that's been quote unquote one of the best in their positions be
No.
brought into this Liverpool team and just do what he does.
Oh no, he's a phenomenal player. He was arguably the best midfielder in the world at Bayern Munich when they won the Champions League that year.
Yeah,
Arguably the best midfielder in the world. And as soon as he joined Liverpool, all of a sudden, if he joined Man United or Chelsea, everyone would be raving about him. Because he joined Liverpool, and does have injuries. We know this. But the man's quality, you just have to ignore that little bit of it, won't you? You know, you're not going to get every week out of him. He might play 70% of the games, but that 70% of the games is still better than anyone else in that position in our club. So it's worth it at the end of the day. And you only got to watch a game of football and watch what he does. I sit there with my wife when we talk about it because she's mad in Liverpool now. She never used to be, but I controlled her too. But now she watches it all the time. She has it pinned on her phone. She tells me stuff, and I was like, "Where do you hear that from?" I'm like, well, I don't talk you too well. And we sit there and watch Thiago sometimes. And she even watches. She don't know that much. He's so different to everything you've got in your team. He can see a pass all the way around him without looking. He knows where everyone's position is on the pitch. He knows that. And all this crap about he slows down the game. Utter nonsense. You know what? Sometimes you need to slow down the game. You need to just take a few seconds out of it and keep the ball and rotate the ball along and not go 100 miles an hour all the time. And we benefit better from it. Man City have been doing it for years with Fernandinho sitting there, and De Bruyne sitting there, just knowing how to take stings out of games, save your legs. That's what Thiago does. He's extremely clever, world-class talent. Because he plays for Liverpool and he has a few injuries, he's a bum all of a sudden.
It's so stupid. Like, I remember watching that Chelsea, like his debut game for Liverpool, that Chelsea game. I was like, I don't think I've ever watched a player in like that much detail to what he was doing. And like ever since then, it's just been like when I see him live in the Southampton game a couple of months ago now, but just watching him, it was just every little touch, every little every decision he was making. I've never ever watched a player like that in my life, and he is phenomenal. And I love Thiago Alcantara. And look, we've never had him, in a quote unquote big game neither. We've never had him for a Manchester City game. We've never had him for a United game. We've never had him in a cup final game or a Champions League knockout stage game or anything like that. He's gonna be the key to Liverpool being successful this season. Of course, we're already successful this season, but to getting on to even maybe quadruple question marks. Of course, it's too early for quadruple talk. Not really.
We can get carried away with it.
Yeah, we can get carried away a little bit. Gary says spot on, Jamie, as well. They also says Thiago is world class. His passing is out of this world. Absolutely. Gary saying Pogba, Thiago is better than Pogba.
I mean, far better.
I think friggin' Thiago's right foot is better than both of Pogba's feet. 4-0 Liverpool. I know I'm biased, but still, we will smash them, says Data. And Data says Milner is better than Pogba.
Milner will give you 100% more effort than Pogba on a football pitch, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. But if we take a quick look then at, of course, the head-to-heads for the game, we'll quickly scroll down. Of course, that is Arsenal's predicted team and Liverpool's predicted team. We'll speak about injury news as well in a brief moment. But if we look at the form sheets, of course, we don't count this because this doesn't count. Yeah. But the two most informed teams in the league at the present moment in time. But if we take a look at, of course, the head-to-heads over the last couple of seasons, of course, Liverpool have played Arsenal 3 times already this season and have scored 6 goals and conceded none. Right. So that should tell you a story. Of course, last season as well, beating Arsenal 3-0, and that was in the Carabao Cup last year when we went out on penalties against Arsenal. But Jamie, to be fair, I look at that Arsenal team, and for me, the biggest worry for me looking after January with that Arsenal team was where would the goals come. Now, fair play to Mikel Arteta, he's done a brilliant job so far in getting that Arsenal team in the conversation for top four, and realistically looking like favourites at the moment with them having games in hand as well. But who do you think is Arsenal's biggest threat for Liverpool tomorrow? Do you think it's because I know Odegaard's played a lot better over the last couple of weeks. Just listening to a few Arsenal fans, of course, Smith Rowe, Saka, but who would you say is the main threat for Arsenal for tomorrow?
Well, watching Arsenal the last few weeks, I'd have to say Martin Odegaard. I think he's something different that Arsenal haven't had for a while. I know a lot of people compare him to Mesut Ozil, but what Arteta's done, the way Arteta's set up, he's got basically Partey and Xhaka as that pivot in midfield, and Odegaard has all the space. He has that free role in midfield where he can go left to right and he can cover them central areas. And he's the one who feeds the ball and keeps the ball and feeds the wingers in Saka and Martinelli. And then, and he's got a good understanding with Lacazette. They're always very close to each other, like 10, 15 yards. They're never far apart from each other. They follow each other's runs. They've got a good partnership going on there. Personally, I feel if we keep Odegaard quiet tomorrow, we win. Because it's saying with goals, I don't think I don't rip teams apart, do they? That's one thing I will say. They don't rip teams apart. I mean, I watched the Watford game. I mean, that could have ended 3-3 quite easily.
Yeah.
Actually. And, I think in Leicester, was it 2 set pieces against Leicester? Yeah, was it 2 set pieces? I think it was a penalty and a corner, wasn't it? Against Leicester, if I remember rightly. I mean, Leicester are terrible at defending corners. There's no point. There's actually no point Leicester players being in the box at corners because they do nothing. So you might as well just leave them all up field. Might as well change it up a bit. They're useless at corners. And and I thought, and everyone raves about that Arsenal performance against Leicester, and it was a good performance. But Arsenal won the game so far. This run Arsenal have been on, they played your Brightons, your Watford, your Wolves twice, your Leicester. They've won games they should win. They've got a good enough team. They should be beating these teams anyway. So although I think Arsenal have improved and they're doing well, and Odegaard is playing exceptionally well at the moment, and he is the player for me, I think we've got to just be careful we don't overblow the Arsenal team at this moment in time. I just think the teams they've played, they should be beating. The teams they play and lose to are the teams they should lose to. It's the way Arsenal season's gone. But what worries me about Arsenal tomorrow, I think Arsenal can have this game as a free hit, because I don't think Arsenal losing tomorrow really makes a dent in their top 4 ambitions. Because how bad Man United are and how bad Tottenham are, I still have Arsenal favourites even if they lose tomorrow, where I think the pressure is completely on Liverpool tomorrow. I think the whole onus is on Liverpool, and I think for that reason, I don't think it'd be the open game a lot of people are expecting. I don't think Arsenal will dare go toe-to-toe with Liverpool because they get battered. I think they go what they sort of did in the League Cup. I think they're going to sit back quite deep, have a little bit of respect about Liverpool, try and keep them at arm's length for 20 minutes. And then after 20 minutes, if it's still 0-0, I think they'll try and work out from that and push up through the field. But Odegaard, for me, we keep him quiet tomorrow. Fabinho just has to follow Odegaard everywhere he goes. Everywhere Odegaard goes, Fabinho goes. Keeps him quiet because he's the feeder. Keep the feeder quiet, no one eats. Simple.
But that's the that is the a correct analogy for it, because I look at it and I go, so far looking at the games, Arsenal have played a 4-2-3-1 and have tried to counter-attack Liverpool. Now, the only time a counter-attack has worked quite well against Liverpool is when you have 2 up top trying to split Matip, Virgil, and try and get in behind. Now, Arsenal, for me, they have no pace up front. Lacazette, no pace. The only way for me, I think they could try and do it is if maybe they put Martinelli up front, or put Nicolas Pepe up front. And I do just look at it and I'm like, what could Arsenal try and do to try and stop Liverpool? And there's not many ways that it could happen. And I think that's the endangerment as well for Arsenal. Is I think if they try and do it if they try and do something different, then Liverpool will just, batter them at it. And I think that is what the best thing about it is the terms of Liverpool will have 3 or 4 ways to beat Arsenal. To beat Liverpool, there's only 1 or 2 ways, I think, or not, or barely that. I think there's only one way to stop this Liverpool team. And look, I think, Jurgen got asked about it earlier about, you've only conceded 2 goals in the last, I think it was like 8 games or something like that. And it's the fact that, that is what Liverpool need to do. It's like you said, you defend well, you don't concede goals. And that is how you win, titles and trophies and things like that. It's based on that. And that's what I think Liverpool need to do. Just go and play our football. Don't think about, it's Arsenal away. Don't be nervous about it. Just go there, do the business, like you would do in a European night, I think.
Totally agree. I think that's what Klopp would tell. I don't think Klopp will change the Liverpool team for an Arsenal. I don't think he's going to change the way we play because we're playing away to Arsenal. It's up to Arsenal to beat us at the end of the day. So, we'll go there just playing the way we play. Look, I think only Liverpool and Man City play exactly the same if they're playing at home or away.
Yeah.
And that's why they're the 2 best teams. They don't change the way they play because they're playing away from home against a difficult side. They will just play their way. And as you say, the only thing I worry about, Liverpool's only worry defensively is when there's pace in behind because of the way we play at such a high line and the fullbacks get exposed. I think Arsenal will try and play Saka continually on Robertson, Martinelli on Robbo, and they won't come back so much. I think they're just going to try and play that. As Spurs played against Man City when they just left Son and Kane out wide, really high up, and just played that counter-attacking football, and they always had space in between. And I think that's how Arsenal will go try and do it against Liverpool tomorrow. But Liverpool's thing is when Thiago and Firmino play together, we control the midfield. Everyone we play against when them 2 play, we control the midfield. And that's going to happen tomorrow because it's going to be them 2 are definitely going to play. It's just who plays with them because I think Klopp's got a big choice there because Naby Keita has been playing well. And Naby Keita is our best presser of the ball in our midfield. Yeah. And it's him or Hendo for that last midfield position tomorrow for me. And if we control the midfield and we don't get caught out in behind from our fullbacks being exposed, like some people say, I think we win this comfortably. Really do.
Yeah, no, 100%. I absolutely agree with you on that, my friend. Gary says 5-0 tomorrow.
Maybe not that comfortable.
Diaz will hurt the Gunners, says Gary as well.
It's a secret weapon.
You could ask who is Liverpool's threat. I could name numerous players. I seriously can't really pick an Arsenal player. Pushed. I would say Saka. Well, to be fair, I look at it and I think it's too many Liverpool names. You can't name. You can't just we could literally say Mohamed Salah, Virgil van Dijk, the front, or literally every single Liverpool player I think is a threat. Quite clear, normally we'd say, Joel Matip is the liability one. He likes a good run and a good adventure, but he's scoring now. He's scoring from those big adventures. So.
He's assisting as well.
Yeah, so
I think Diaz is going to be the threat tomorrow.
Yeah.
They haven't played. I don't think Diaz has played against Arsenal yet, has he? I can't quite remember.
No, he hasn't played yet.
No. And if Cedric's playing right back, Cedric might need medical attention after the game because he's going to be turned inside out.
It's just going to be, I think Tierney and who else is in the predicted team? Let me take a quick look. I think
it'd be Cedric.
Yeah, Cedric is there. I think Tomiyasu, I think he's out with a calf injury. So of course, the good news for Liverpool today is that Mohamed Salah was in training. So
yeah, he's gonna be fine.
Yeah, so
he would have played with one. He would have played with 1 foot in a way. The way Klopp put it in the press conference.
I know.
Salah's playing no matter what. Mo's all right. He'll play, and now he's got his goal from the penalty. I don't think he'll be so goal hunting now. Like he has been the last couple of games, where I think he's just been a little bit selfish. I mean, obviously Klopp went absolutely nuts against Brighton, didn't he?
I love that though. I love the
Yeah,
fact that he screamed at him, because I think many
effing
people are like,
pass.
"Oh, well, Mo's like the number one player. It's like, oh, he gets his own way and all that." Guys, like, no, look, like he's getting screamed at, and Jurgen was, I think you and Jurgen like had a go at him a bit afterwards that the cameras didn't pick up on, and it's like I love that. I love the fact that he's telling him that he's in the wrong. He should pass
Yeah.
it to
And
Luis
yeah,
Diaz,
listen.
and it's a simple goal.
And he will listen as well, because he's got Klopp's full respect. So it's not like he will listen to him. I think he had to go at Mane as well, and he had to go at all of them, because they were Diaz, Mane, and Salah are all sort of a bit individual in what they did against Brighton, and no, we can't be like that against Arsenal. We've got to be ruthless. So, and I think they will be. I don't see that selfish side of them in this game now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I have just looked, and apparently we have another guest. So,
Awesome.
I don't think he's ever been on the channel. Hello, hello, Elvis. I think if that's worked. Oh, never mind. Elvis left.
Elvis has left the
building. He joined and then left. Would you start Bobby tomorrow? Says Gary.
This is an hard one, because
exactly.
But he hasn't played.
I would think, that in the summer, Klopp might change him to a number 8.
Yeah, I think so as well. He can play.
I don't think. Yeah, it's a nice headache to have, isn't it?
I mean, I understand why people are asking about Bobby, because I've said this numerous times on my videos. I keep saying, I think Bobby Firmino is our best number 9 for European games. I really do, because he's got that great ability of not being marked. Centre backs can never pick him up because he goes so deep. And what I like about him as well, he keeps the ball. When he keeps the ball, he's got a great ability of keeping the ball and bringing everyone towards him and feeding off everybody. Sometimes I do get annoyed when Jota's playing that number 9 role, or Mane or something like that. The ball bounces off the front three quite a lot. And when we push, because we push up in such a high line, the way we want to press the oppositions in their own half and play football in their whole half of the whole game. That's how we like to play. But when we get caught out from in behind is when we lose the ball. So when the front three lose the ball, and teams, what they're doing now, they sit there with a couple of defensive midfielders, get the ball, and they just put it over the top of the back four into all that space. And if you've got quick young players like Arsenal having Saka and Martinelli, that can cause a problem. But Bobby's very good at coming deep, winning the ball, and then that lets the two forwards, who's ever playing, really come in, and leaves all that space for Trent and Robbo to run into, which is then very hard for defenders to pick up.
Yeah.
So I can understand why people are shouting for Bobby, but because he hasn't played, I don't think you can start him.
No.
He's going to be a bit rustic. Personally, I would go Jota because he loves the Arsenal. So, and I think when players like scoring against a certain team, I think you play them. And
I would agree.
And I think Jota will start him.
I think the problem is now, though, it's like, when do you play Bobby as well? It's like, do you give him a game in Anfield? Of course, the FA Cup game on Sunday, I believe.
Yeah, play that.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about still being in competitions as well. The fact you can give people minutes, like you would expect that everyone that would probably start in this game would probably be rested against Nottingham Forest. But knowing Jurgen will just say, bugger it, we'll play him for like 60 minutes and then we'll take everyone off. But it will be interesting, I think, tomorrow as well with lineups. But we will, move on to starting 11 predictions, because, we are currently on the topic. And Gary did say, I would love to see Elliot in the team tomorrow. Again, another brilliant option for Liverpool, but
he hasn't been playing either, has he?
No, but Jay, what would be your starting 11 for tomorrow?
Mine, right? So I did this on my show earlier. I went obviously Ali in goal. I've seen a lot of people saying Kelleher should start tomorrow. I don't know why. I've seen it on social media the last few days. I think it's because of his kicking ability, and he played well against Arsenal, didn't he? So, but you go Ali, and he's top 5 best goalkeepers in world football, if not the best. So you play Ali. Obviously Trent and Robbo, Matip and Van Dijk. I am going Thiago, Fabinho and Naby Keita as our midfield 3. I think Naby's in good form, and I think when Naby's fit, he needs to. If you've got Naby fit, you play him for me because you just don't know how long he's fit for. So, and the blokes, look, he's a very good footballer. All this, we can all banter Naby and all that because of his injuries and all that. Deep down, he's a bloody good footballer. And,
hey, if you know me and know this channel, I have been a Navigator saint for the last 3 years, and I've been called things for supporting Naby.
He's a good footballer, a top draw footballer, and he's our best presser of the ball in midfield as well. Yeah. And he's probably our quickest midfielder as well. So yeah, I'd play Naby. He deserves that start. I think Hendo at the moment is doing much better when he comes off a sub, like we were last half hour ago. I think that's suiting Hendo at the moment.
I think he's transitioning into that calm everything down.
Yeah.
Similar to like what James Milner does when he comes on. It's like calm everything down, settle everything, and get it over the line. And I think that's of course depending on what happens in the summer as well. I think he is slowly transitioning into that role of like he'll start probably against the likes of Brighton, for example, and other teams like Wolves, for example. But maybe in like a top end Premier League game, he might be left out and brought on to calm things down. But I can see what you mean with it.
Yeah, and my front three. Look, I'm gonna go Bobby. I had this discussion on my channel with some people in the comments and all that, and I changed my mind and went with Bobby, and I'm going to stick with it. I know he hasn't started games, but I've got this feeling he might start, and then obviously Diaz and Salah left and right. But the reason I started Bobby is because I think Jota and Mane will be better impact subs than Bobby maybe, and I'd start with Bobby just because. You've got to be wary of this Arsenal at this moment in time. They are in form. You've got to respect the opposition. You can't go in there and think, we blow Arsenal apart all the time. It's not the same Arsenal right now. They're doing really well. You have to respect what's in front of you. If you don't respect what's in front of you, you lose games. It's as simple as that. So, that's how I'd go.
I've just seen your commentator, and for a second, I was like, what the fuck? But Garrison and Keller are out our training coach.
Jesus Christ. Can you imagine
that? Lucas is Allison, of course. 100% Ali. For me, for tomorrow, it would be Alisson Becker in goal. No problem in that. Trent, Robbo, Virgil, Matip. Then it would be Fabinho, Thiago. I'd agree with Naby. I would like to see that. The only other person for me would be Harvey Elliott. I think he could do something there. And then I've gone for Mohamed Salah, Luis Diaz. No, I haven't. I've gone Sadio. No, who have I gone for? I've gone for Mo Salah. There's too many options. There's Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, and Thiago Jota. I think Diaz might come on as an impact sub.
You reckon Diaz be rested?
Yeah, I think he might play against Nottingham Forest. I think Jurgen might. I think he might introduce into that style of football. He's already played against obviously Cardiff and who else did we play in the FA Cup? And Norwich, was it? In the FA Cup? Yeah. I think away from Anfield being one of those like tough grounds to go to, I think he might introduce into that, and of course he can bring on Mane or Salah or wherever he's going to put on the bench. But I think he'll introduce into that. But of course, he can use him as a sub for this game. Yeah. But yeah, I think it's got to be Jota's got to play. I'd love to play Bobby, but Jota with the goals as well.
He's just not Jota. He just needs a goal again, don't he? He's gone a bit out of since his injury. He's lost a bit of rhythm, Jota, ain't he? And I think Jota just needs a. He is different to everyone in our front three, though. He is more of a predator in our front three, ain't he? He's that one in the box. Salah don't score the goals Jota does. Mane don't score the goals Jota does. Jota's he's almost that out and out number 9 right now, and he's not really a number 9. If that makes sense. It's like, but he's the closest we have to a number 9 in our squad.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can understand why Jota. Bobby for me, I'd love to see it. As you say, I think Bobby probably won't play Jota will. Bobby will be playing against Forest, but get Bobby ready for the European games because I think Bobby's will be massive for Champions League games.
Yeah,
absolutely. But it's Jota's just he loves the Arsenal, don't he?
Yeah, and we don't know yet. We're going to get in the Champions League. Of course, that will be Friday. We will be live for that.
It's going to be Man City. I'm telling you.
I hope so. And
it's going to be Man City. We're going to get them in the FA Cup as well.
Well, to bring some breaking news, Atletico Madrid has just scored against Manchester United, so it's going successful.
There we go. So what is it? Only 1-0.
Well, Data's just gone, yes, Atletico. To be fair, I restarted the FootMob app, and it just come up with United 0, Atletico Madrid 1, and I was like, oh, happy days. But Gary also says Naby is showing his class. Yeah, no, he is.
Certainly is. He's been good all season, to be fair. He has been good. Yeah. At the beginning of the season, I would say he was our best midfielder at the beginning of the season.
Same.
Then he just had that little injury, knocked him back a little bit. That's the only problem with Naby. Fit Naby, if you get Naby fit all season, it would be hard to budge him out of that midfield. I'm telling you, he's that good of a footballer.
It's always when he comes back from an injury as well. But like I remember last year, where I think we played, I think it was Real Madrid, wasn't it, in the first leg, and he hadn't played any games, and I think Jurgen said that he had trained for 2 days, and he just shoved him into the team, and he had probably the worst 41 minutes I've ever seen anyone have in their Liverpool career. And it was like, just everyone was like getting on Naby's case, getting on everyone's case. And say, realistically, when you look at it, it was a very, very bad call from Jurgen. And I think I think Jurgen even said that. He said that, he should have played Thiago.
Yeah, there.
Wrong. Yeah. So it just goes to show that sometimes managers, change things, and it doesn't go well. But since then,
shows you when Naby's fit, Klopp wants to play him. So it tells you everything you need to know right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But moving on then to score predictions. I know very much Arsenal fans want to turn off the tally now, so please go and do so. But of course, Jay, what would be your score prediction for tomorrow?
I think it's going to be I don't think it's. I know some people in the comments saying 4 and 5-0. I'd love that to be the case. I think it's going to be a tight game. Like Arsenal are in good form at the moment. We've got to respect what's in front of you, and they're playing well. I know I said earlier, the teams they've played, they should have beat, with the players they have. But they're not just beating them. They're actually playing really nice football at times. But Arsenal can still be got at. You only have to look at the Watford game. If Leicester had a better striker in Nacho up front, they probably would have scored a goal against Arsenal as well. They had a bit of a spell early in the first half, I think, towards the end of the first half. Leicester were on top of that game. They're just shit. But if that's Liverpool, they're goals, and I think Liverpool win. I think it'd be 2-0, a goal in each half. But a very professional performance, and I think it's going to shut up a lot of people in the media that still, for some reason, write off Liverpool Football Club, and I don't understand it. All this stuff about squads and stuff, and look at Liverpool's bench against City's bench. Well, I'll tell you what, City's bench the other day and last week had 3 players on I've never heard of.
Look at it last night. Many people were having a go at, and many people, including probably myself and you, have probably had a go at Jurgen sometimes for not using substitutes. Pep didn't even use one last night.
One substitute in 2 games, hasn't he?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
He hasn't got the players on the bench. I think Gary Neville put it right. He hasn't got Liverpool's firepower. City haven't got Liverpool's firepower. If he had a Jota or a Mane on the bench last night, he would have made subs. But he hasn't got that. And I just think the media and people around it and the press and all that, I still don't think they give Liverpool the credit they deserve. I don't know why I feel like that, but I just read things, see things sometimes. And it's always, either Liverpool are lucky for some reason. No one else is lucky ever in life, but only Liverpool. Or this City squad is just completely untouchable, and it's just a nonsense. And I think I want Liverpool to go and beat Arsenal tomorrow, put on a professional performance. And I think it'll start to shut a lot of people up and actually go, bloody hell, Liverpool are, they are what I say we are. Man City and Liverpool are the 2 best teams in Europe. And I think respect needs to be started showing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And look, I absolutely agree with you with what you're saying, because if that, that handball situation at Everton a couple of weeks ago, if that had been Liverpool, it would be all over the pages going, oh, Liverpool, Liverpool get away with it and things like that. With City,
Never heard
you
a thing.
know, there was nothing. It was a public or like an apology by a text message or whatever it was to Everton and that, and like that in particular will have huge repercussions on the season. In terms of Everton, potentially getting relegated, Liverpool and the league. You look at it, if that was given as a pen, it scored, Liverpool would be having the opportunity to go on to be top of the league tomorrow,
exactly.
and the fact as well. And I think Jamie Carragher, Carragher hit the nail on the head. If Liverpool win tomorrow, it would psychologically be a massive hit to Manchester City, because at the end of December, going into January, Manchester City were 13 points clear of Liverpool, and now tomorrow hopefully it'll be down to 1 point. And you look at it yesterday as well. Bernardo Silva didn't even get asked about Liverpool, got asked about the game, and Liverpool was the first thing that came out of his mouth.
Yeah,
and I absolutely loved it.
I know I mean, it's right. And the thing is, though, we don't, after this, Man City don't play again until the 2nd of April, a league game. And so if we actually beat Arsenal, these City players and Pep Guardiola have got to still on this till the 2nd of April. Yeah. That's a long time. City would want a game straight away. They'd want a game. If you ask them, they'd want to play straight away, because they won't want to wait that long. And they got a tricky FA Cup game as well, away to Southampton. It's going to be difficult. Southampton have got know how to play Man City, and I won't be scared of them. They put a good performance in against Man City. That's another game for them. And then obviously before we play, and before Man City play Burnley, we could already be top of the league, because we play, I think, the 12:30 kickoff against Watford.
Yeah.
On the weekend we come back after the international break. It's just fucking international break. Why is it now? Ruining everyone's momentum. It's an absolute joke, isn't it?
I hate
momentum.
I hate it. I hate international breaks altogether. But John's in. Hello, John. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, mate. Saying big up, guys. Hope you are both doing well. Jamie, it goes on to say, Jamie been telling you all season we're winning it.
To be fair,
John has said it, since the start of the season. Gary's going Alisson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Robertson, Keita, Fabinho, Elliott. So no Thiago in that, to be fair. Diaz, Mane, and Salah. And Gary was saying City are bricking it, boys.
They are. We're in the
I seen something interesting on Twitter, and it's kind of like the roles. It's the reversal of 18-19, where Liverpool, dropped, what was it, 9 points, I think we was, ahead. And the fact that, everyone was like, oh, Liverpool bottled the league and things like that. At the end of the day, we didn't bottle the league. 96 points in a league campaign.
It, is it?
Yeah, exactly. 96 points in a league campaign would win it, win you the title.
Just felt the pressure.
Yeah. And the fact that, the only time that, since then that Liverpool have put pressure on Manchester City properly, Liverpool won the league. Exactly. And last year, you're right, City walked away with it. But you look at it, if Liverpool didn't have the injury worries, and people go on about Virgil van Dijk, and yes, Van Dijk was a huge, huge miss for Liverpool last year. Liverpool only went down south last year when, we had the likes of Joel Matip and Joe Gomez get injured, and then we had to play, Fabinho alongside, Jordan Henderson, sometimes even James Milner in games as well.
Genie, I think, as well.
Yeah.
Let's bang on right. It weren't a defence that was the problem last year. We had no midfield. Yeah. That was the real crux of it, because the midfielders had to become centre-backs. And it's only when Klopp really trusted Nat Phillips to put him in there and put young Reece Williams in there. And then the midfield came back. And then I think the last 10 games of the season, we won 8 and draw 2. When Nat Phillips and Reece Williams at the back. But because we had our midfield back, we controlled games. So, yeah, it was the midfield was so... Defence was hit injury-wise, but the midfield was the thing that was depleted the most in our team. Because in the Klopp system, the midfield is everything.
Yeah,
The midfield is everything.
Lucas says who's winning. If you mean
Liverpool,
in the Champions,
unfortunately, Liverpool, mate.
Yeah, Liverpool overall. But if you mean the Champions League, it's currently 0-0 in the Ajax and Benfica game, and 1-0 to Atletico in the Champions League. So
Tell you what, I'd have Atletico in the quarters.
no, I wouldn't mind them.
Smashing.
Guy says United are losing.
It's hilarious. It's hilarious.
But for me, I hope so. I hope it. Just can't wait for Ronaldo's tears and all that. But for me, guys, I'm going to go 3-0 Liverpool. I think over the last couple of weeks, look, Arsenal are up there on the form sheet, of course, but I think Liverpool, let's be honest, we've been playing in second and third gear. And I think now Liverpool smell blood, especially with, like we talked about, we can put pressure on Manchester City and properly get in their heads. Now, for me, I think Liverpool will move up now that extra gear. The last, 10 games of the season, I think Liverpool will push up. And Luke, I can see a comment.
I just read in Luke's comment. Yeah, I'm just smoking to myself. I'm guessing that's Luke anyway. But
yeah, I guess that is Luke. You rat.
Just,
but yeah, Liverpool 3-0 for me. Anyway, would join Connor, but busy having fish fingers.
As soon as that popped up, I was like,
I hate you so much. 5-0 Liverpool, says John. Anyway, guys, we will leave it there for tonight. Thank you so very much for tuning in. If you have hacked my account, said, I'm not saying anything. I am not saying anything. To be fair, guys, the next time that hopefully we're all together. Hopefully Liverpool, winning a Premier League. We're definitely going to throw a pile of fish fingers at Jack at some stage. But John says nothing wrong with a fish finger sandwich. No, there is absolutely nothing wrong with a fish finger sandwich. Take care, fellas. Anyway, thank you for popping in, Luke. Anyway, and Data says Liverpool will win the league and Everton to go down. Outstanding.
I think that could even happen. Could even happen.
I look.
Man United finished fifth. Everton out the champion. Man United finished fifth. Everton relegated. Liverpool win the league. What if Liverpool equal the Man United 99 treble? They're all going to need therapy. They're all Man United fans are going to need therapy because that's all they come up with, ain't it? Like the Arsenals, the Invincibles. It's, we won the treble in 99. No, your treble's not really a treble and all this crap. What if we equal it? What they go? You won't hear from them ever again. They'll be gone.
Yeah, but imagine if we win the quadruple.
Yeah.
What is their excuses then? It's like, oh, it's not proper. It's not a proper quadruple.
Oh,
what do you mean it's not a proper quadruple? It's the only thing you can win. You idiots. Honestly, there'll be some sort of way, but yeah, if Liverpool did win, a treble or a quadruple, and Everton got relegated, it would be the best season in history so far. Anyway, and before anyone asks, no, I'm not going to play the Everton going down TikTok because when I spoke to Jack afterwards, he got copyright strike.
He got copyrighted, didn't he?
So I'm definitely not doing that. Jack looks like a fish finger. I'll tell him that when I speak to him in a bit.
That's all.
Take care, lads, as well, says John. Jamie, we're beating it. We're beating it. We're winning the lot, absolutely, John. And Everton are going down. Absolutely. But guys, thank you so very much. Please head over to Jamie's channel as well. I will leave all the links in the video description down below. So thank you very much, Jamie, for coming on as well. I do very much appreciate it. But guys, look, hopefully Liverpool will be 1 point behind City by this time tomorrow, and fingers crossed as well. Man United get knocked out of the Champions League as well in a little bit. Now, watch Ronaldo score a hat-trick now since I've said that. So absolutely fantastic anyway. But guys, hopefully have a fantastic rest of your night. I've been Connor from the Cock Council, and fingers crossed we'll see you tomorrow with another Liverpool win. Try rides, and you never walk alone.